Richard Long's A Circle in Alaska was an ephemeral piece of land art. It laid the substantial arrangement of driftwood out in a circular pattern. Long sees his art as the essence of his experience as opposed to a representation of it. He assembled the circle in 1977 at a site in the Arctic Circle's Bering Strait. As in much of Long's work, this sculpture comprised nature-based matter. He documents his blend of experience, sculpture, and performance via the medium of photography. This approach permits him to reach a wide audience at photographic exhibitions. Susan Phillips works principally with sound. Her installation, The Distant Sound, is based on her idea that sound can define space in the same way as architecture. This belief led her to investigate links between sound and sculpture. The Distant Sound was a project that transmitted 9 vintage tonal signals along the Scandinavian coastline and was based upon early radio broadcasts. She describes these sounds as evocative and melancholic, and serve as a connection to space. According to the Tanya Bonekdar Gallery's website, The Distant Sound is a title borrowed from Austrian composer Franz Schrecker's operatic piece, Der Fernklang. It relates to a composer possessed by an intangible cacophony that he seeks to capture his entire life. Only upon reaching the end of his life does he understand sound had consistently enveloped him via the pulsating fabric of modern life. The aural and observable aspects of Phillips' installation blend to form an ethereal but discernible impression of separation, loss, and distance. In my judgment, the random horn notes are redolent of haunting avant-garde music. It's strange but possible to feel a nostalgic attachment to a time and space not experienced by oneself. James Turrell's Roden Crater is of epic scale and lies within a now extinct volcanic cone close to the Painted Desert in Arizona. Turrell favored the location for both its height and remoteness. With its absence of light pollution, the setting is ideal for observing astronomical events with the naked eye. As land art goes, Roden Crater has no rivals in its magnitude and uniqueness. Upon completion, the site will contain 6 tunnels and 24 viewing areas. By his own admission, Turrell draws inspiration from the pyramids, Borobudur, and Machu Picchu. Turrell's configurations support and facilitate the observation of solar and celestial events. A particular tunnel within the crater behaves like a camera obscura and gives the impression of an enormous naked eye telescope. Many consider Roden Crater to be land art, yet Turrell insists that this is not the case and that his primary concern is simply the capture of light. David Hammond's Blizzard Ball Sail appears to mock consumerism and the fleeting pleasures it derives. One could draw parallels between melting snowballs and the ephemerality of consumer gratification. The elusive Hammonds is renowned for his disdain of the high art establishment, and maybe this was the message behind the work. He spread rows of neatly formed snowballs across a colourful rug on a busy city street. Each row seemed to be graded by size and offered for sale to bemused passers-by. It's street trading, but not as we know it. More a fusion between Del Boy Trotter and Duchamp, minus the Trevor Francis tracksuits. Like much of Hammond's work, Blizzard Ball Sail seeks to subvert the often perceived solemnity and pretentiousness of art. Irish artist John Gerard's Western flag is a display of perpetual smoke. It commemorates the now defunct oil rig Lucas Gusher at Spindletop in the US. It comprises a video simulation on a 24-hour cycle and symbolizes climate change with an emphasis on fossil fuel addiction. Commissioned by Channel 4's Man-Made Planet, it's a visual representation of otherwise unseen carbon dioxide gases. These gases, within our atmosphere, have risen to an alarming level throughout the last century. Gerard acknowledges humanity's positive achievements during the same period. Improvements to some people's well-being seems to have been at the expense of the Third World and future generations in terms of climate change. This kind of art exploration is far removed from traditional forms of protest art. It's an environmentally friendly approach that's not contingent on physical materials.